lesbian fiasco.
Lesbian fiasco.
Lesbian fiasco.
Lesbian fiasco.
Lesbian fiasco.
Lesbian fiasco. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Monte.
And this is the lesbian fiasco.
Lesbian fiasco.
Perfect, because this is the lesbian fiasco.
Yeah. I don't even really know what this is. It's a fiasco is what it is.
This is an LGBTQIA short stories podcast where the two of us read stories we have written but the other has not read. We email the stories when we begin recording so the other does not have an opportunity to read ahead. The challenge begins during the reading using the silent notes as indicators for direction, tone, accents, noises, etc. The challenge does not end there, no. We each continue writing the next chapter of the other person's story until a definitive end is met. It could be 2 episodes, it could be 20, you don't know and neither do we. Each episode is minimally edited for the listener's enjoyment. All new episodes are posted on the 1st and 15th of each month. If you are enjoying the podcast, please rate and follow.
Thank you for untangling that fiasco in my head. All right, let's get on with the show.
This is Dyke Dawgs, episode 10.
Yo, everybody! Welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast, Dyke Dawgs!
I'm your host, Diesel.
And I'm the marvelous Murphy.
What are you, some kind of superhero now?
Maybe so, maybe so.
Dog, it's nice to be recording in the same room with you for a change.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor.
Would you be mine? Could you be mine?
Listeners, you have to excuse us. We've been partaking in some libations.
Murphy, your homemade gin hits the spot, dog.
Thanks, D. I really appreciate that.
Listeners, as some of you know, Murph and I have been going through some difficulties lately.
I'd say more like transitions. We're making some adjustments.
Right. There you go. Change of pace and scenery.
Yeah, got rid of the ranch.
But don't worry, folks. Murph still has Priscilla. I know some of yous were wondering.
Oh yeah, Priscilla ain't going nowhere.
We also sold Pussy's wieners.
But kept the painting of Pussy.
Absolutely. We couldn't part with that picture of Pussy. No way, no how.
Yeah, me and D, he sold just about everything. We've got a little place in the desert together. Living off the land. Totally self-sustainable.
Basically off the grid. Still got the hog, though.
Your hog is to you what Priscilla is to me.
Living way out off the grid hasn't stopped us from living the life, though. We have some nice lady company from time to time, wouldn't you say, Murph? Which little shindig's been your favorite so far?
Yeah, so we went down to Slab City, down in the Southern California area, and had a good time. And all these ladies just showed up from our pasts, and at least the good ones. A couple of our exes though. You and I, we had to be like, turn around, go home. You're not welcome here.
Oh yeah, dog.
Yeah. So we had a big shindig. They have a very nice stage down there at Slab City. That's completely off the grid. And had a quite a few nights in our own private trailers. That was nice. And so, yeah, basically, like one of those days, right? It was like, oh yeah, it's time to get married to my whatever, the Bible girl. It's time to get married to her. Not to be confused with the drag queen Bible girl, which is actually an amazing drag queen. But, yeah, I remember. I don't want to talk about it because I know it's a little touchy, but it was, that day happened, and D over here, Big D, Diesel, was like, dude, I can't fucking do this. This goes against everything that I am. And I was like, hey, bud, I'm just trying to do what you want to fucking do, because I was like, I don't think this is a good, mix up here, like, a good connection. But, you just fucking did it. And I was like, I respect your decisions as a best friend, And I was like, whatever, you just fucking did it. And, but yeah, you actually heard me, I was like, and you were like, you know what, fuck this shit. And, Salvation Mountain is where y'all were gonna get, the wedding, and it was, on top of the mountain, and she just kind of went crazy. Bible girl just went fucking off the handle and started groping everybody like a fucking sex fiend that she was. And I was like, yo D, get your woman. And you were like, nah, let her go, fuck her. And that was a great night after she left in that limo. I don't know was she fucking NASA or some shit? Some Illuminati? She fucking left in that limo. Daddy probably caught it for her. And we had a great time that night. That was really good. And Priscilla danced so lovely. Did you see her little flower girl, Priscilla? She was like, you know what, I'm going to perform even though, I'm not, in the ceremony no more, because that got, canceled.
DYKE
DAWGS!
Damn. What's that, Murph? We expecting company?
Whoa, what was that, D?
Huh, I don't know, dog.
I can't see anything. It's so bright, dog.
What the hell?
Is that?
What the hell, dog? What you just heard was the last episode of the famous podcast show DYKE DAWGS, starring Meredith Murphy, aka Murphy, and Bella Costa, or as you know her, Diesel.
Riveting stuff, Diane. It's a true mystery, folks, and we're here to discuss it with you.
We keep our identities private, but our theories public. Because of this method, we have helped solve numerous cold cases.
That's right. With the help of listeners like you, we've assisted in jailing 3 violent criminals, including 1 serial killer. Listen along while we discuss mysteries gone unsolved and conspiracy theories of people who have vanished without a trace. I'm your host, Melissa.
And I'm your host, Diane. Welcome back to another episode of Without a Trace. Beloved hosts made national news recently after their mysterious disappearance. The most baffling part? Almost no evidence, except for the clip we just played that was discovered on Murphy's laptop 40 miles from their home in Moapa Valley, Nevada.
So many questions, but the first 2, how did the laptop end up 40 miles from their home and just 15 miles from Area 51?
Melissa, this feels like a good time to discuss our first conspiracy theory.
It sure does, Diane. When we think of Area 51, what comes to mind?
Aliens, of course. I think it's safe to say that the alien abduction theory is the most popular.
And why shouldn't it be? What with the sudden move to the middle of nowhere, a town just miles away from Area 51? The bright lights they spoke of on the recording? The confusion you hear in their voices while they're clearly trying to make sense of what they're seeing?
Sounds convincing to me, Melissa. I can't lie, and I won't. When I heard the recording the first time, I immediately thought of alien abduction. That is until someone came forward and dropped a bomb I don't think any of us saw coming.
I have to admit, I've always been skeptical of alien abductions, so I wasn't as convinced. This next theory made a little more sense to me. Some of you might be hearing this news for the first time, but keep in mind, this is all speculation. Don't let it muddy your opinions of these two amazing women. Rumor has it, Diesel and Murphy were both involved in gang activity after an anonymous tip that included somewhat incriminating photo evidence. The gang? An underground group known as Dykes of the Dark Dungeons, or as many know them, Triple D.
Yes, Triple D, a vigilante group started in the early 2000s. Founder still unknown. The photo in question includes Murphy sitting in a recliner with a woman who appears to be an exotic dancer on her lap. Diesel in the background speaking to someone, and if we look closely, it doesn't look like a very friendly conversation. Moments later, 3 men were murdered. All 3 men later identified as members of the KKK.
Diesel and Murphy were questioned, but both had alibis that put them in different locations during the scene of the crime. But as we can see here by the photo timestamp, it would appear they were there just moments before. Which leads us to the theory that some of their past activities caught up with them and someone exacted their revenge. To be honest, I'd rather it be aliens, Diane.
I'm with you, Melissa. This photo has not been examined by a digital forensics expert, and I would be none the wiser to a photoshopped picture.
I would have to agree with you. Today's technology has me questioning the validity of any and all evidence that hasn't been determined real by professionals.
With that in mind, we move on to our next conspiracy theory. I would describe it as a close relative to the last one.
Indeed, Diane. A close relative, but in my opinion, slightly more far-fetched. Theory number 3 on our countdown includes an agency we have become close with, the CIA.
Close might be an understatement, Melissa. That is why I, too, think this one is highly unlikely. It's being said that because of their Triple D ties, Diesel and Murphy snitched on a few of their own.
Which, let me stop you there, Diane. Completely out of character. Rumor would have it that they snitched for a get out of jail free card, and they are now in the witness protection program. We received an email from a listener who believes they saw them in Belgium at a pub.
One question. Were they with Tupac and Elvis?
Oh, now that's a party. I'd go for the story, but I'd stay for the Dyke Dogs.
You and me both, Melissa. You and me both.
I digress. Witness protection program for snitching on friends? I just don't buy this one. I had the pleasure of attending an event for fun. Of course, nobody knew who I was because we can't disclose that information, but I had the opportunity to have a conversation and a drink with Murphy. So this one, along with the next one, are the most far-fetched for me.
Yes, this one is probably the most painful and offensive on this list. It goes without saying that Murphy absolutely loved those Komodos. Murphy lived for those gentle beasts. I didn't even want to entertain this one out of respect, but so many people are starting to pass this rumor around that I'd like the opportunity to squash it dead.
Yes, this one is nauseating. Putting this rumor to rest would be an honor once and for all. Some people are saying Murphy was neglectful with the Komodos. She didn't take care of them, but instead made them perform for hours on end in costumes for paying tourists. There's even a rumor of Komodo Fight Club. The perpetuating circumstance is that, well, neither one of them knew how to pronounce Komodo properly. They often refer to them as kimonos.
Which is a type of clothing. But that in no way means they had the Komodos hooked up to tiny milking machines day and night to produce milk for the cheese, which is another rumor about Komodo abuse.
Like I said, I met these two, and those Komodos were the happiest lizards I've ever seen. So no, I do not believe for a second, and I wish everyone would stop spreading this terrible rumor that they were eaten by these creatures as their final act of revenge. Keep in mind that Priscilla is also missing along with Murphy and Diesel.
An interesting twist in this story. It's a fork in the road at this point. Melissa, do we go left and take the listeners down road Komodo's got a taste of blood when Doris's final wishes were carried out? Or do we take a right onto Doris's family wanted revenge when they found out she was eaten by Komodos?
Wow. You know, I think we start with Doris and her wishes because the story almost leads directly to the family. Listeners, the unfortunate part of Doris's dying wishes is that although they spoke of lawyers and paperwork, there is no paperwork to be found. No lawyer has come forward.
And that might be because they don't want to be known as the lawyer who wrote up legal papers dissolving them of liability after the wishes were carried out. I could understand that.
Yes, but those documents would be public, and nobody has been able to find evidence of the sort existing. Which leads us directly to your right turn. The family believes and has publicly come forward with media and said Murphy was afraid of losing the land. Part of it was still owned by Doris, and when she died, the children would own part, well, most of it. In desperation, Murphy went to the nursing home and checked Doris out.
I want to interject here for a moment. Murphy did this quite often. Every week she would visit Doris, and every couple of weeks Murphy would check her out and take her places. By the way, the only one who would visit her. There was no record of the family ever visiting.
Yes, thank you for that, Diane. It's an important piece of the puzzle. As I was saying, the family story is that Murphy checked Doris out of the nursing home against her will, euthanized her, and fed her to the Komodos. The family filed a lawsuit against Murphy and a separate lawsuit against Murphy and Diesel for discussing it on the show. The family members are affluent public figures. In an attempt to end the rumors and avoid a fight for all the land, etc., they hired a hitman and had Murphy and Diesel killed and fed their remains to the Komodos.
Ugh. Well, that is enough to get the stomach churning. I don't know about you, but I, for one, cannot take any more of the lizard-eating people discussion.
I 100% agree. Let's switch gears to a new theory. A theory that, well, made me laugh until I cried.
Sounds like a perfect transition. We certainly need something lighthearted. Listeners, buckle in for what some are believing.
Some people, namely conservatives who have gotten a hold of this story, are saying Diesel's baptism opened the gates to heaven and hell. They were both raptured, and Murphy was turned into an angel. Diesel, an archangel, returned to Earth. And now, well, folks, now we wait for the impending apocalypse that will involve battles to the loser's death.
Wow. Just amazing. Imaginations are wild. Well, we're down to our last theory, Melissa. Would you like to do the honors?
I sure would. Thank you, Diane. This last one is short and sweet. It's the one. I think I can speak for myself and Diane. We hope this is the one. They staged it all to get away and leave everything behind. They are rumored to be living somewhere in Mexico. There you have it, Diane. The end of an era.
It's a somber ending, but I believe they are still out there. We may never know, so we leave it up to you, our listeners, to form your own theories. What do you think happened to Dyke Dogs?
I think one thing is certain. We've heard the last of Dyke Dogs, and now we say our goodbyes as well. It's been a beautiful ride, but we are also ready to move on with our real lives.
Thank you to our listeners and devout fans. It has been a dream come true, but this chapter has ended for us. Melissa, what do you say? Shall we sign off with a tribute to Dyke Dogs?
Sounds perfect, Diane. This is
Without a Trace, signing off.
Dyke Dogs out!
The end of Dyke Dogs forever!
Oh, shit. Rest in pieces.
The Doctor Will See You Now, Part 4. Dr. McGray finishes up her peanut butter and honey sandwich during her afternoon break. She tidies up her desk to make way for her next patient. Her 4 o'clock Thursday patient has been seeing her for almost 4 years. They have made a lot of strides together in this little office, and today is another one.
Good afternoon, Doc. How are you today?
I'm good, Saul. Thank you for asking. How are you feeling?
Actually, I'm feeling pretty good. It's really been a nice week. It's been manageable with work. I've had some days where I'm super busy, then others when I have some time on my hands and I get to catch up. I've been doing good.
That's wonderful, Saul. I know you've been really advocating for yourself lately at work, and it seems like it's paying off.
Yeah, that talk with my boss really cleared the air, and she's really appreciative of my work. Everything we talked about is really coming into play now. I'm relieved.
That's good. Have you been working on your certification?
I study less than I'd like to because of life, I guess. But yes, it's coming along. I scheduled my test in a month and I'll be ready. I already know the program and see it, so it's just refreshers.
You got this. I know you're a naturally talented programmer, and your boss, I'm sure, is paying attention.
I think they are for sure. You know, I was thinking, Doc, maybe I don't need you. No, wait, that's not what I mean. I didn't mean for that to come across like that.
It's fine. What do you mean? That you feel like you don't need the therapy anymore?
Maybe? I don't know. It's just sometimes, and things have been going good for a while now. Sometimes I think before we meet up, what do I say? Like, of course, when I started to come see you, life was a wreck. During COVID, when everything shut down, so did I. You've seen me at my worst, but that was 2020 when everything fell to shit. I've just been thinking, like, oh shit, I'm about to go to therapy today and I have nothing to say. And I was like, the world needs mental health. You've helped me so much and things are really looking up for me. I feel like I'm taking your time away from someone else out there who needs this time slot with you more than me. Is that weird to say?
You're right. The world definitely needs more mental health. But just because you may not feel like you have nothing to say, that doesn't mean necessarily you have to stop therapy. It's a good check-in with yourself. And I'm here for you for any bumps along the way.
I just really appreciate what you've done for me, but I guess I'm not cured. Am I cured?
You did it all. Yes, this is a different kind of session because looking back to now, I can see the difference too.
That's nice. Yes, you're right. I did it. and the meditation has really transformed me. It's hard to imagine what my mind was like before it. It was a torrent of negative emotions always about to capsize me. I believed every mean thing my brain was saying about the way I looked. I was ugly, too fat to wear that dress, too dumb to understand coding, and that everyone was better than me and I wanted what they have. But now when any negative thoughts come, I just go deep underwater where the water is still. The negativity on the surface are just passing waves, and I know those thoughts aren't me anymore. It's just random chatter, the mind doing its creative thing to try and trip me up. But I'm centered now. I've been meditating every day, you know.
That's wonderful. I like to do mine as well every morning.
I meditate in the afternoon after I log off work, but in the morning I pull a tarot card for the day. You know, I pulled the Tower today.
Oh, yeah? Tell me about it.
Well, you know what the Tower card looks like, right? It's a scary card to get usually. I've pulled it before, and it's this burning castle-looking tower with flames coming off of it, and a lightning bolt is striking it, and two people are falling from the tower. One looks like a king, maybe because they wear a crown, and the other person has a red cape on flowing in the wind as they fall. It's so ominous and chilling when you pull this card, because it's like your world is about to get rocked.
That sounds terrifying.
If I was in another mind space, I would take it to heart that something bad was about to happen, or the way I perceived something was about to be flipped upside down, and it would usually lead me dwelling even deeper into the negativity. I would ride that storm on top of the sails, screaming into the wind. But actually, this time when I pulled the card, I was like, whatever is in store for me, I accept it. And I actually invite it. Maybe the tower already crumbled and I'm looking at the rubble now and thinking, this is an opportunity to rebuild better.
I like that perspective. Rebuild better.
I didn't mean to sound like a political slogan. Rebuild better kind of sounds like something Biden would say.
You're thinking, build back better.
Yeah, that's it. I looked up the Tower card online, and the card stands for upheaval and chaos, but it also could be awakening and personal transformation. So yeah, it's a good card. Maybe I'm transforming.
You are, Sol. And I'm here for you. Don't think that you're taking someone else's time slot. That's thoughtful of you, but you're doing the work, and it's your choice to keep seeing me.
Thanks, Doc. You're right. Just because I'm riding this gentle wave of positivity right now, I guess there will always be things to talk about. And it is good to talk. God, I used to burden my friends with all my problems, but when I started seeing you, I directed all that energy to our sessions. My relationships got better because I wasn't word vomiting on them anymore. Now I'm so boring, all I have to talk about is meditation and tarot cards.
That's not boring stuff to me, you know.
I didn't mean to say boring. I just mean when I first started seeing you, my life was chaos. I hadn't even begun to work through my sexual trauma, and I was carrying that weight with me. I would secretly cry while I was working on Zoom calls with my mic muted and video off. I was going through so much. Now it's just calm. I'm calm. I didn't mean boring, but the comparison of the me who I was to the me now, I feel like a different person almost. I'm me, but damn, the old me had a lot of shit going on, but it was all mental made up shit, and I was making my life harder for no reason, putting a rod in my spokes all the time.
COVID was a hard time for a lot of people. I'm glad you stuck with therapy, and you have a lot to be proud of right now.
I've really never given myself the privilege to feel proud of something. I felt like pride, even though I'm not religious, is a sin. Like in the movie Seven with Brad Pitt, one of the 7 deadly sins. I guess I took that to heart at a young age and never really took pride in anything I did. Even when someone was like, good job on blah blah, Solana, I wouldn't let pride take over. I had kind of idiotic humility for everything and wouldn't accept a compliment, always putting myself down on my work. It's a new feeling to feel for me. I guess that's something I can work on. Feeling pride? ugh, makes me think about that stupid song. I'm proud to be an American, 'cause at least I know blah blah. That's something I'm not proud of, being American. But it's such a complex feeling, you know? Like, especially when Trump was in office. I fucking hated being here. Maybe my mental health is better now that he's almost in jail. Those were dark times for everyone, right?
Not for everyone, but yes. A lot of people needed help during that time to find the good in life.
It was so sad when he won, air quotes. Did we all collectively need therapy? Yes, I think so. I should have started therapy earlier back in 2016, but 2020, oof. I needed you then. Bad. Working from home, alone in my thoughts all day, the endless cycle of bad news and deaths, the assault. It was the tower crumbling. I'm glad that tower crumbled. I mean, it was fucking rough those years, but I really do feel like I'm out of it now, and it feels really good. Not just a fake good. This is a real good. I don't think I've ever allowed myself to feel that way until now.
Like I said, you should be proud.
Okay, Doc. I see where you're going. You want me to say it. I am proud. I owe a lot of thanks to you, but I see what you're about to say, and I need to go ahead and just accept it as my own. Maybe it's easier for me to say, I'm thankful.
Gratitude is important. Also, it can be incorporated into your meditation.
Yes! I went on a hike this past weekend and stopped to do a little meditation and sit back on a big rock. I closed my eyes and just felt the breeze flowing and playing with my hair, and I thought to myself, I'm really thankful to be here right now in this body, experiencing this moment as a human being.
That sounds lovely, soul. Daily affirmations or gratitude meditations work. I see you're already on that path.
I'll try to be more consistent with it. I'm definitely more comfortable with feeling gratitude over pride, but yes, I'm proud of myself and thankful. And I'm thankful for you and the help you've given me along the way. This feels like an after-school special right now. I guess there's still a part of me that's waiting for something bad to happen. But maybe it's not even me. Like, maybe I don't have to take ownership over that thought. I just need to let it pass.
That's the best thing to do. Thoughts come and go, but above all, they always go. You're in control of whether or not you pick up the thought or leave it be.
It's kind of like magic, like the ultimate life hack. I'm not my thoughts. I am not my skin, my body. I am in this body, but I am not my body. I am not my mind. These passing thoughts come from everything I've ever experienced, and they're all twisted and jumbled. And I am the filter. I can filter out the thoughts that serve me from the ones that don't. What a trip.
It is.
Did I win?
Win what?
Win therapy.
No one wins at therapy. But you've definitely made a lot of strides through your commitment and acceptance.
I know, I was just kidding. And you're right. I don't know what I was thinking about wanting to quit therapy. I just felt like I had nothing bad that's been going on in my life recently, so I had nothing to say to you.
You have a lot to say, and I'm here for you to say it all.
Maybe if I had started therapy sooner, I wouldn't have OD'd back in 2018, or I wouldn't have been assaulted in 2019. I know that's so wrong of me to think like it's my fault. I know it's not.
You took the words out of my mouth. No, that was not your fault.
I know, it's just, if I had these tools sooner, who knows what life would look like for me now. I'd be further ahead, but I can't think like that, I guess.
It doesn't serve you.
For real. It's that little negative monster trying to creep in. I take it back. I'm just thankful, and those things that happened are things I had to work through and evolve from. And now I'm fucking strong, and I can take on the world.
Yes, you can, Saul.
Okay, this was a good sesh. I'm just going to accept the good and go with it.
Keep up the good work, Saul. And Saul?
Yes, Doc?
Get the fuck out.
Oh, I love when you say that. Okay, I'm going.
Finn.
I like it. A nice positive one, and for a change, not like a fucking I want to take a bath with my toaster oven.